JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 16th of July 2020, so yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Thursday's afternoon session where we're going to have a quick look at the markets, a few of the charts that we looked at this morning, yep, just to see how kind of everything's getting along. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation. It should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest, and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, as always, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website, and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So yep, feel free to visit us here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top. Now then, let's quickly jump into the charts, see what's happening here. So this morning I was talking about this one, and basically I was telling you guys to keep an eye on this barrier at the highest point of June, near the 12,913 zone. So this morning I was saying that we'll get a nice opening gap to the downside, or in this way, you can see that it opened lower, below the below yesterday's close, so and opened below this barrier as well. However, as you can see today, not much excitement in the kind of around this whole trading activity. Basically, the index excuse me, the index continues to trade below this barrier, below this 12,913 zone, which is the highest point of June, but it remains above the high of last week. So in other words, it's basically stuck here in this little very narrow range. In a way, we cannot really do much here, because ideally, in order to aim for some higher levels, we would prefer to wait for a nice daily close above this area, above the 12,913 zone, in order to kind of aim for some higher levels. But if by any chance this kind of ends the day here, then, well, we'll just have to wait for tomorrow and see where the index will go to, and of course we'll have to keep an eye on the cash index, because it will be quite interesting if that will get moved by the US session today as well. So of course, like I said, for now, keep your eyes on this one, guys. Very interesting situation here on the German DAX. Cannot really do much here with it. Yes, for now, from the very short-term perspective, we need to kind of wait probably, and wait for that confirmation break again. Again, of course, you could say that we are still trading above this upside support line taken from below the 19th of March. So basically, overall, it's still kind of looking quite positive. However, we would prefer to see a nice stronger move above this highest point of June, and kind of then aim for some further acceleration to the upside. Now, jumping into the S&P 500, now this index yesterday closed in the positive territory. However, it also remained below the June high, near the 3,233 territory. So the index stayed below this area, and of course, for now, I mean, it's also a little bit tricky. And if we look at the cash index and where it's currently balancing at, the index is currently near the 3,207 zone. So basically, kind of is trading back below this little area right here. Actually, let me just get rid of this. Let me just tidy up the chart because I haven't looked at this one for quite a while. As you can see, some of the lines have been, well, are no longer valid, but this one here, the highest point of June, is still valid, 3,233 zone. We would prefer to see a nice daily close above that area in order to kind of consider some higher levels. The index is currently getting a hold of here. Like I said, the cash index is balancing near the 3,207 zone, but on the kind of the positive side is that the index still remains well above the 21-day EMA here, and in a way still the upside scenario is the more likely one. However, as I said, to be a little bit more on the cautious side, maybe a nice good push and a daily close above this 3,233 territory could do the trick for more buyers. In terms of the downside, if this index starts moving lower and falls below the low of this week here, the current lowest point of this week near the 3,128 territory, at the same time the price would be placed below the 21-day EMA and lower levels could be met. But again, for now it's we're leaning a little bit more to the upside here. However, that confirmation break above that 3,233 territory would be ideal. Gold, quick update here. So this morning I talked about gold, and I was telling you guys to keep a close eye on this little short-term upside support line taken from the low, the 5th of June. So you can see that the commodity is now breaking lower and breaking this upside line. However, also what I was mentioned this morning as well, that keep your eyes on the daily candle, because again we keep getting these false breakouts, but then by the end of the day, kind of by the end of the trading session, gold kind of reverses sharply and kind of ends the and kind of closes the daily candle above this upside line. So that's why for now, yes, we are breaking this upside line, but let's see if the daily candle actually stays below this upside line. If it does, then maybe, well, yep, we could look at some lower levels. However, to get a little bit more on the comfortable side, after the break of this level, let me rephrase that. In order to get a little bit more comfortable, guys, we would like to wait for a drop below the 1789 territory right here, and then kind of aim for some lower levels. For now, it's a little bit tricky, I would say. I mean, if it, for example, if it does close below this upside line and drifts lower, but finds a good hold up somewhere here near the 1789 territory, and reverses back to the upside, then we could be getting ourselves a possible range here. So that's why let's not exclude this potential pattern. So that's why the maybe ideal scenario after which kind of ideal scenario would be for the downside would be on a break below the 1789 zone here. So keep your eyes on that one. So Ethereum, something that I've looked at this morning as well, and here the price is now piercing through this upside support line taken from the low of the 13th of March. It's also dropping below the 235 territory that I talked about this morning. So in a way, everything's kind of leaning a little bit more to the downside. However, again, similar story as with gold. Wait for that daily close, because we don't want to see a false breakout here where, for example, this daily candle is now, like I said, trading below this upside line, below this 235 zone, but at the end of the day it will reverse and push back above this upside line. So that's why let's wait for this day to finish, and we'll see where this daily candle is going to end. If it stays here below this upside line and below this 235 territory, then well, there is a possibility for this one to drift towards the 216 level marked by the low of the 27th of June, or in other words, the lowest point of June, and yep, we'll take it from there afterwards. Now jumping into another instrument here, and here I haven't looked at this one for quite a while, but it's quite interesting due to the current kind of political situation in China, in Hong Kong, basically here the US dollar against the Hong Kong dollar, as you can see, from around the beginning of April, the Hong Kong dollar was seen as a very strong currency here against the US dollar, and it kind of was trading here near this 7.75 mark. And let me just quickly put a line here, a horizontal line. So basically the Hong Kong dollar was stuck somewhere near or just around this 7.75 mark. Now we can see that the Hong Kong dollar is getting weaker a little bit here. However, don't get me wrong, in order for us, let's say, to aim for some higher levels, we would like to see a push above this highest point of May near the 7.7577 mark here, which also coincides with the 100-day EMA, and only then we could consider some higher levels. This is basically for you guys something to kind of keep in mind. Like I said, yes, for now, everything's kind of looking quite interesting for the buyers. However, be very careful near this level, near the 7.7577 zone. If we get a nice pop above this, then yes, of course, higher levels could be met. But if it struggles to overcome this barrier, then well, another reversal back to the downside could be possible, and we would be getting ourselves here a nice, well, a range which has been well, running for quite a while, I would say. So that's why, like I said, that's why this pair is quite interesting. Like I said, wait for a break above the 7.7577 territory, and then we could consider some higher levels. US dollar against the Japanese yen. The pair, I talked about this pair yesterday and in the beginning of this week, and today in the morning as well. Basically, oh, sorry, not this morning, but yesterday. Basically, what I was saying, that in a way, this little short-term downside resistance line taken from the high of the 5th of June could continue to provide resistance, and as you can see, it's doing exactly that. And in a way, for now, we will remain careful here, because as long as this downside line stays intact, there is still a possibility for this pair to drift lower. However, as you can see by the chart that I have here and by the marked levels, the ideal scenario probably could come on a break of the 105.94 zone here, which acted as a fantastic area of resistance here back in May, in the beginning of May, and also in the end of June. So that's why I dropped below this, below the 105.94 territory, would confirm a forthcoming lower low, and yep, further declines could be possible. But given the fact that the pair today reversed higher, and is now testing this downside line, this of course gives a bit of hope for the buyers. However, as I mentioned before, we need a break of this downside line first before considering some higher levels, at least some higher levels in the near term, and we could maybe then aim for the 107.79 territory, or the high of, or I should say, the current highest point of July near the 108.16 mark, which also coincides with the 200-day EMA. So something to keep in mind. Good potential, kind of could be a good potential trade, but we need some confirmation breaks first. GBP NZD, the pair, this is what I talked about this morning. The pair was drifting lower initially, but as you can see, it quickly reversed 180 degrees and is now once again testing this barrier, the 1.9209 zone. So this morning I talked about this level, because basically, as you can see, we keep getting these overshoots, but we don't get a daily close kind of ending the well, staying above this level, above this area, above the 1.9209. So let's see if we actually manage to get the daily candle kind of remaining above this barrier. If we do see something like that, if we do see this one staying above it, then it increases the chances of moving higher. Of course, we do have the 200-day EMA, oh sorry, the 21-day EMA here to overcome, shown here as the yellow line. But if that gets broken, then yep, well, it could start moving towards these higher levels. But again, for now, all eyes are on this 1.9209 zone. I've mentioned this pair this morning, and mentioned this level this morning. So let's see if we can actually get a nice daily close above this level. And finally, Euro USD. So here the barrier here, the highest point of June, continues to provide resistance. This one is near the 1.1422. In a way, we need to see a nice good break above that area and before kind of considering some higher levels. This morning I was saying that even if it struggles to overcome this barrier straight away, it may move lower, but this move lower could still be seen as a temporary correction because we are still trading above this short-term upside support line taken from the low of the 14th of May. So kind of even if, let's say, this pair drifts lower, still the bulls have a chance to kind of step in somewhere around here and then try to push the pair higher. However, if the pair doesn't really travel all the way here down towards this upside line and decides to break the 1.1422 level straight away, then of course, yes, higher levels could be met, and we could then target the current highest point of this year near the 1.1496 zone. And by the way, in terms of the break here, not only that we would need to see a break, but also a nice, well, a daily candle staying above this barrier, above this highest point of June near the 1.1422 zone. So keep your eyes on that one, guys. So I hope you found it useful, guys. Thank you very much for watching and listening. Thank you very much for joining in. I really appreciate your time. If you want to catch my video tomorrow, my Traders Espresso, as always, 6 o'clock GMT time. But for now, I hope you have a wonderful trading day, guys, or if you're still trading, of course. But everyone, have a wonderful evening as well, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.